Broken Covenant, first known as Silent Hill PS3, began its life in early 2006 as a pitch for, you guessed it, a Silent Hill title that would be exclusive to Sony's new console, the PlayStation 3. Developed by Climax Los Angeles, the team was eager to work on some next-generation titles, as their primary teams focused on portable titles, including Silent Hill Origins on the PSP. Video you see playing in the background is of the Broken Covenant level pitch. It is almost identical to the Silent Hill level, but it's a little bit longer because of the extra months of development that it had. If you watch closely, you can see some stealth segments, some basic interaction in the level, a simple puzzle, some enemies to shoot at, and the big climax at the end. Developed using relatively early versions of the Unreal Engine 3, the primary focus of the story was to save a southwestern town in Coyote Flats, Arizona, from the corrupting memories of Silent Hill's past. This early pitch demo used assets from Silent Hill Origins to help convey the atmosphere, but they were not intended for the final game.
Those freaks are out there.
Alessa's powers have started to influence areas outside of Silent Hill, as various pieces of the town itself from different time periods began to materialize in the American Southwest, spreading corruption all the way. Buildings from the 1700s could appear next to more recent incarnations, many of them appearing much larger than they would have really been. Just how a scared girl might have seen them. Some buildings would simply appear like a mirage in a desert, while others would try to work their way out of the ground as if it were a zombie rising from the dead. They could, as the design pitch noted, materialize like a tornado in reverse, or even fall from the sky. The key to all of this would have been a streaming world with no load times of any kind to break things up. Since it was taking place in the Southwest, water would be one of the key features of the game. Water could be used to purify the environment, flowing over and around structures. Like the original version of Origins that Climax LA was working on, a Resident Evil 4 style camera would be used, along with context-sensitive actions and even vehicular encounters. Swarms of cockroaches, moths, bees, and other creatures would have swarmed the player as they walked down the streets, even taking the shape of humanoid creatures, or creatures that were far larger. With the cult in Silent Hill unable to bring about the reign of Samael through Alessa, a splinter group of cult members from Silent Hill decide to leave for Arizona, finding a former military base just outside of Coyote Flats to serve as a compound. You would have played the role of Father Hector Santos, an El Paso, Texas priest who received a desperate plea for help from his niece, Anna, in Coyote Flats. While the Silent Hill pitch and the Broken Covenant pitch are nearly identical, this is one area where it varies slightly. In the Silent Hill pitch, Hector's sister, whose husband had recently passed, finds comfort in the cult, but begin to believe that Anna is the next Alessa. In the Broken Covenant pitch, it is Hector's brother who calls for help, with his wife having died. His son John is believed to be the one who can bring about the end of days, and along with it, paradise. Anna is still his niece, although in this case a teenager, as she is the one who calls for his help. In the Silent Hill pitch, Hector acts alone to look for Anna, while in Broken Covenant the two work together to find John. These minor differences aside, the two pitches are basically the same. Father Santos would have been able to perform holy rites and rituals, including the purification mentioned earlier. Father Santos would occasionally gain access to his rusty pickup truck, although only after an area had been cleansed. Should enemies jump in the way of his truck, the player would have been required to climb partially out of the truck to remove them. Like the original version of Silent Hill Origins, the player would have been able to create barricades to slow down enemies. Dynamic camera angles were still implemented at some parts of the game to add interactive moments. Demon nurses, mumblers, miners, and of course Pyramid Head would have all made an appearance in the title. Sometime in May 2006, it became apparent to Climax that they probably would not be getting the go-ahead as a PS3 project for Konami, so they retooled what they had into Broken Covenant through August 2006. With the shift to Broken Covenant, Climax had hoped to create the game as an episodic title, allowing players to experience 1-hour chunks of gameplay at a time. Having pitched it to Sony with no success, and despite being willing to expand to the 360 as well should other publishers show interest, both Silent Hill PS3 and Broken Covenant would be shelved for good. Big shout out to Harrison and Daniel, our new Patreon supporters for the month. Every dollar pledged helps me make videos like this. As it turns out, getting the equipment to gain access to these files costs a pretty penny. Check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/PtoPOnline. Regardless of if you can help us out there, do like the video, hit subscribe, and of course, thank you all for watching. If you like prototype Silent Hill games, why not check out the Origins of Silent Hill Origins and the original Climax LA version of the game.